Have you ever wondered if that old coin in your pocket or collection could be worth a fortune? Some rare coins have sold for millions of dollars, making them some of the most valuable collectibles in the world. In this video, we'll explore the most valuable coins and what makes them worth so much. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss this. First up, the John Adams gold-plated $1 coin was issued as part of the U.S. Mint's Presidential Dollar Coin Program, which began in 2007 and ran through 2016. The program was created to honor the U.S. presidents, one by one, starting with George Washington and ending with Gerald Ford. Each coin in this series was produced in a distinctive style, featuring the image of the president on the obverse, accompanied by key details of their tenure in office. John Adams, the second president of the United States, was a pivotal figure in the early formation of the nation. Serving from 1797 to 1801, Adams played a significant role in advocating for independence and later in shaping the country's government. He was one of the founding fathers and a key signer of the Declaration of Independence. Before becoming president, he was also the first vice president of the United States under George Washington, which helped set the precedent for future administrations. His presidency oversaw the quasi-war with France and the passage of the Alien and Sedition Acts, marking his administration as one of considerable influence and controversy. The John Adams gold-plated $1 coin, like the rest of the presidential series, was created to highlight his legacy and commemorate his contributions to the founding of the nation. Despite being part of a relatively modern series, these coins embody the gravitas of the nation's history, which makes them highly collectible. The design of the John Adams $1 coin was created by engraver Don Everhart. On the obverse, front, of the coin, you'll see a detailed portrait of John Adams, which is surrounded by the inscription John Adams. His likeness is based on a famous portrait of Adams, and the engraving captures his strong, determined expression, highlighting the resolute character that defined his political career. Above the portrait are the words, "In God We Trust," and below, it is the year of his presidency, 1797 to 1801. This design is framed by the outer ring of stars that is characteristic of all the coins in the presidential series, symbolizing the states that were part of the Union at the time of his presidency. One of the most striking features of the John Adams $1 coin is its gold plating. Though the coin is primarily composed of a base metal, it is coated with a thin layer of 24-karat gold, giving it a radiant golden appearance that makes it stand out from other coins. This gold plating, while not adding intrinsic value in terms of gold content, contributes to its unique aesthetic appeal. The John Adams gold-plated $1 coin was minted in significant numbers as part of the ongoing presidential dollar coin program. However, despite the large production run, the coin has gained value over the years, primarily due to its connection to a historical figure and its place in the broader context of the presidential series. In terms of mintage, the John Adams $1 coin was produced in various mintages throughout the years of its issue, with the highest numbers coming from the initial release period. As with many coins, the value of the John Adams $1 coin varies depending on factors such as condition, demand, and availability. In fine condition, which is typical for coins that have been circulated, the value of the John Adams gold-plated $1 coin in today's auction market hovers around $25,000. However, pristine, uncirculated versions of this coin, or those that have been graded as proof specimens by organizations such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or Professional Coin Grading Service, can fetch higher prices, sometimes upwards of $20,000 or more. While the John Adams gold-plated $1 coin is not known for major errors, collectors still keep an eye out for unique anomalies that could increase the coin's value. The most common types of errors in this series involve issues such as misprints, die breaks, or other manufacturing flaws. Coins with noticeable errors can sometimes fetch prices that are significantly higher than the standard market value, especially when they are rare and well documented. Collector interest in the John Adams $1 coin is relatively strong, particularly among those who focus on U.S. presidential coins. Many collectors seek to complete the entire presidential series, which includes all of the coins issued in the program. Furthermore, the appeal of the John Adams coin is amplified by its historical significance. As the second president, Adams is considered one of the most influential figures in early American history. Collectors are drawn to his legacy, and many are eager to own a piece that honors his contributions to the United States. Next, we have another fascinating coin in our lineup. The 1944 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1-cent coin, which is known for its error date with no mint mark, and for being in a dirty, color-damaged condition. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat cent is already a popular coin due to the historical context of World War II, and when paired with unique characteristics like these, it becomes even more intriguing. 1944 is a significant year in American history. World War II was still raging, and the U.S. Mint was working hard to produce coins that would be circulated during the war. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat cent was struck in the middle of the war effort, during a time when many of the country's resources were dedicated to military efforts rather than coin production. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat cent is part of a pivotal period in the history of U.S. coinage. After the war, the country was recovering, and inflation began to rise, but for now, the coin remained an everyday item for Americans. The Wheat cent, with its portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, was produced from 1909 to 1958, and its reverse design, with two stalks of wheat, became one of the most recognized and beloved motifs in American coinage. But when looking at the 1944 cent, collectors are drawn not just to the era it represents but also to the unusual circumstances under which these coins were produced. On the obverse, we see Abraham Lincoln's portrait, which is still one of the most iconic images in U.S. numismatics, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, the two stalks of wheat symbolize America's agricultural strength during a time of war. But what makes this coin stand out is its error and condition. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat cent is supposed to have a mint mark of either D for Denver or S for San Francisco. However, this particular coin has no mint mark, which indicates it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This is where things get a bit tricky, since coins minted at Philadelphia typically didn't have a mint mark. Finding a coin with no mint mark was a regular feature. However, errors and unusual conditions, such as this one, are what catch the attention of collectors. Coins like the 1944 Lincoln Wheat cent that are in dirty or color-damaged condition still have a lot of potential market value. Yes, this coin is not in mint condition, but that doesn't mean it lacks value. In fact, damaged coins can sometimes be more valuable if they have historical significance or unique characteristics. The condition of this coin, while far from perfect, doesn't take away from the fact that it's still a 1944 coin, struck during wartime. This coin can fetch anywhere from $50,000, depending on its specific wear, and any remaining detail of Lincoln's portrait or the wheat stalks. But in certain auction settings, a coin in such a damaged state can go for much higher, especially if the buyer is seeking out rare wartime pieces. The error on this coin, combined with the fact that it's in a damaged, dirty condition, actually makes it even more desirable to collectors. Some collectors specifically look for coins that have unusual errors or marks, as they can't be found anywhere else. In particular, coins from 1944 without a mint mark have always drawn attention. And when you pair that with the color damage and dirty condition, it creates a distinctive and memorable look that stands out in a collection. There's also the appeal of owning a coin from such a tumultuous time in history, which gives these damaged coins even more allure. Next up, John Tyler, the 10th President of the United States, served from 1841 to 1845, following the sudden death of President William Henry Harrison, who passed away just 31 days into his presidency. Tyler's rise to the presidency set a significant precedent for presidential succession, as he was the first vice president to assume the role of president due to the death of his predecessor. Tyler's presidency was marked by his strong commitment to states' rights and his opposition to many of the policies of his party, the Whigs, which led to a rather tumultuous political environment. Tyler's administration is also known for its foreign policy achievements, including the annexation of Texas, which paved the way for the eventual statehood of Texas and contributed to the expansion of the United States into the Western territories. His presidency, though often overshadowed by controversies and his conflicts with Congress, played a key role in shaping the country's expansionist goals during the 19th century. Like the John Adams coin, The John Tyler gold-plated $1 coin was part of the U.S. Mint's Presidential Dollar Coin Program, which sought to honor the presidents of the United States through a unique, collectible coin series. The John Tyler coin was issued in 2009, along with coins honoring other presidents from that era. The design of the John Tyler gold-plated $1 coin follows the same general pattern as the other coins in the presidential series. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find a detailed engraved portrait of John Tyler. The design was created by engraver Don Everhart, and it effectively captures Tyler's features, conveying a sense of his determined and thoughtful personality. Around the portrait, you'll find the words John Tyler, and underneath the image, the years of his presidency, 1841 to 1845, are inscribed. As with all presidential coins, the coin also bears the inscription, "In God We Trust," and the stars that surround the portrait mark the number of states in the Union at the time of his presidency. The reverse of the coin, featuring the eagle in flight, remains consistent with the rest of the presidential series, symbolizing the nation's strength and unity. The reverse also includes the phrases, "United States of America," "E pluribus unum," and $1. Just like the John Adams coin, the John Tyler coin is gold-plated, lending it a bright, shiny appearance. The 24-karat gold plating enhances the visual appeal of the coin, making it a favorite among collectors. The John Tyler gold-plated $1 coin, like the rest of the series, was minted in large quantities. However, despite the large mintage numbers, its value has grown over time due to the historical significance of the coin and the broader appeal of the presidential series. In good condition, the John Tyler $1 coin typically has a market value of around $8 to $15. However, coins that are in uncirculated or proof condition can fetch higher prices, with some reaching $27,000 or more, depending on the market and the specific collector demand. As with the John Adams coin, the John Tyler gold-plated $1 coin is not widely known for major errors. However, errors such as die cracks, off-center strikes, and other manufacturing defects can increase the value of the coin among collectors. Error coins in the presidential series are often sought after by those who specialize in collecting unique and unusual pieces. The collector interest in the John Tyler $1 coin is also considerable, especially for those who focus on completing their collections of presidential coins. Tyler's presidency, while less well-known than some others, remains a critical period in the nation's history, and collectors are eager to own a coin that honors his role in shaping the country. Next up, James A. Garfield served as the 20th President of the United States. His presidency was tragically cut short by assassination. He was shot in July 1881 and passed away in September of the same year. Garfield's time in office was brief, but his influence on the nation was profound, especially in the areas of civil service reform. His untimely death shocked the country and led to sweeping reforms in the federal government, particularly the Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act. Garfield's assassination had an enduring impact on the United States, and over time, his legacy has been honored in many ways, including the creation of commemorative coins like the one we'll be discussing today. These gold-plated $1 coins were issued as part of a series designed to honor U.S. presidents, and they offer a unique opportunity for collectors to own a piece of history associated with such a significant and tragic moment in American history. The James Garfield $1 gold-plated coin was minted with remarkable design features that reflect both the artistic excellence and respect for the nation's leaders. The obverse of the coin showcases a detailed portrait of President Garfield, featuring his facial likeness and profile. The artist used a finely detailed technique to highlight the rugged features of Garfield's face, capturing his sharp eyes and prominent beard. Around the portrait, you'll find the words James A. Garfield and the dates of his presidency, 1881. The reverse of the coin displays a traditional eagle, a common motif in U.S. coinage. The eagle is perched with its wings extended, holding an olive branch and arrows, representing peace and strength. The words United States of America and $1 are inscribed around the perimeter of the coin. The coin is gold-plated, giving it a rich and vibrant appearance. Although it's not made entirely of gold, the plating gives it an impressive look that mimics the gleaming appearance of a pure gold coin. which makes it stand out in any collection. As a part of a limited edition release, the James Garfield gold-plated $1 coin has a relatively low mintage compared to other modern coins, which makes it highly collectible. The exact number of coins minted varies by year, but generally, these coins were produced in smaller quantities than regular circulation coins, making them even more sought after by collectors. In today's auction market, the value of a fine condition. James Garfield gold-plated $1 coin is substantial. Because of its historical significance and the rarity of the series, these coins can sell for anywhere between $100,000 depending on the current market trends, demand, and the coin's condition. The coin's value can increase significantly if it is in perfect condition, with no scratches or signs of wear. Its gold plating also adds to its allure, making it a prime candidate for collectors looking to add a piece of presidential history to their collection. Additionally, some auction houses may offer this coin as part of a package with other presidential commemorative coins, further driving up its value. As with all coins, errors can occur during the minting process, adding to the intrigue and desirability among collectors. While errors are relatively rare in these gold-plated $1 coins, some potential variations that could increase the value include off-center strikes or improperly applied gold plating. If you come across a James Garfield coin with an error, especially one that involves a significant misstrike, you may be able to sell it for a premium. Garfield's coin holds a special place in history, and the collector interest surrounding it is strong. People interested in presidential coins, historical artifacts, or just lovers of rare and beautiful items have fueled demand for coins like these. Because of Garfield's relatively short presidency and tragic end, collectors are particularly eager to own anything connected to his legacy. Whether it's for its historical relevance or its aesthetic appeal, the James Garfield gold-plated $1 coin is sure to hold its value for years to come. If you're lucky enough to own one in fine condition, you're holding onto a piece of American history that many would love to have in their collection. We have the 1949 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1-cent coin with an S mint mark. While most people might see a rusty, damaged penny as nothing more than a worn-out coin, collectors understand that even such imperfections can increase the value of a coin, especially if it's rare. Let's break this coin down. Its historical context, its design features, how damage and wear can actually add value, and why collectors are still hunting for this particular version. Today, 1949 was a pivotal year in American history. It marked the end of the post-World War II era, a time when the country was transitioning into a new economic phase. The 1940s were crucial for the United States, as the country was recovering from the aftermath of the war. During this period, the U.S. Mint continued to produce various denominations of currency, including the famous Abraham Lincoln wheat cents that had been in circulation since 1909. The Lincoln wheat cent design, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two wheat stalks on the reverse, had been a staple of American coinage for several decades. The wheat cent was eventually replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Cent in 1959, making coins like the 1949 version especially collectible today, as they represent the tail end of the wheat cent era. But what makes the 1949 Lincoln wheat cent so special? And why are collectors so interested in even the damaged ones? Let's dive into that now. The 1949 wheat cent is part of the long-standing Lincoln series. On the obverse of the coin, we see Abraham Lincoln's portrait, which was designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has remained iconic, and it's still featured on the current 1-cent coins today. The reverse features two stalks of wheat, which is why these coins are commonly referred to as wheat cents. The 1949 version stands out because it was produced at the San Francisco Mint, as indicated by the S mint mark. While the mint mark is often subtle, it plays a significant role in determining the coin's rarity and value. In 1949, the San Francisco Mint struck around 1.1 billion Lincoln wheat cents, making it a relatively common year in terms of mintage. However, certain coins from this year, especially those with unique conditions like our featured coin, can be quite rare and valuable. Now, you might wonder, why is a rusty, damaged condition coin so valuable? Well, that's where things get interesting. While most damaged coins are seen as devalued by many collectors, Certain types of damage, especially with historical coins, can add significant value, especially when paired with a rare mint mark and unique characteristics. For example, a rusty damaged condition coin like this one, with its S mint mark, is still very valuable because it's rare in any condition. Even with the corrosion and rust, collectors are interested in coins like this because it is a piece of history. The coin's age, combined with its rarity, creates a unique opportunity for coin collectors and investors looking for something different and significant. Coins in damaged condition like this one may be priced at anywhere from $38,500 depending on the level of damage and collector interest, but keep in mind that specific auctions could yield even higher prices due to the rarity of the mint mark combined with the unique historical story it tells. Now, let's talk about errors and why this coin still attracts collectors despite its condition. Coins with an S mint mark are generally less common than those minted at Philadelphia or Denver, making them more desirable to collectors. The key with this 1949 penny is that it still carries its historical significance despite the rust damage, which makes it a collector's project for some serious enthusiasts. Furthermore, damaged coins like these often show signs of wear and rust that may alter the coin's design in unpredictable ways, creating what some call errors in the coin's surface. Some collectors specifically seek out these errors as unique and interesting additions to their collections. Next up, James K. Polk, the 11th. President of the United States is often regarded as one of the most effective and transformative U.S. presidents, despite his relatively short tenure in office from 1845 to 1849. Born on November 2, 1795, Polk was a Democratic politician who led the nation through a period of significant territorial expansion. His presidency is particularly noted for the annexation of Texas, the Oregon Territory dispute with Britain, and the Mexican-American War, which resulted in the U.S. acquiring vast new territories including California, Arizona, New Mexico, and more. Polk was a man of remarkable political tenacity, achieving nearly all of his campaign promises, including reducing tariffs, establishing the U.S. Treasury system, and overseeing the expansion of the U.S. borders. His policies helped shape the modern-day map of the United States, making him a pivotal figure in American history. Polk's assertive leadership style and strong focus on manifest destiny have earned him a place in the annals of U.S. presidents, despite the controversies surrounding his aggressive expansionist policies. In the world of numismatics, presidential coins like the gold-plated $1 coins featuring Polk are a tribute to his lasting impact on the nation. The James K. Polk $1 coin is a beautifully crafted representation of the 11th president. Gold-plated coins, often made from a mix of copper, zinc, and a thin layer of gold plating, are prized for their elegant and shiny finish. The design is modern, yet inspired by the classic motifs seen in the coinage of earlier periods. The gold plating gives the coin a striking, almost regal appearance, making it a favorite among collectors of presidential coins. Unlike typical silver or copper-based coins, these gold-plated pieces stand out due to their shiny surface and the premium look they carry. Unlike regular circulation coins, gold-plated $1 coins like the James K. Polk coin were primarily produced for collectors. These coins are often struck in limited runs, which means they are rarer than most common coins. The U.S. Mint, as with other presidential dollar coins, released them in limited quantities in special collectors' sets. The total mintage of these gold-plated Polk coins is generally lower than typical circulation coins, which significantly impacts their rarity and subsequent value. The limited mintage and the inclusion of a gold plating further enhance the coin's allure in the numismatic market. Collectors often look for coins with low mintage numbers because scarcity often drives up value. Additionally, some of these coins may have been minted in specialized sets, making them even more valuable due to the unique packaging and inclusion in a presidential collection. In today's auction market, the James K. Polk gold-plated $1 coin, particularly in fine condition, holds substantial value. Due to its limited mintage and the historical significance of President Polk, this coin can sell for a price in the range of $56,000 in today's market, depending on factors like demand and condition. Coins in mint condition Those that have not experienced significant wear or damage can fetch even higher prices, especially if they come with the original packaging from the US Mint. The value of this coin may fluctuate over time due to various factors, such as economic conditions, collector demand, and the availability of other similar coins in the market. However, collectors who are passionate about US presidential coins or the legacy of James K. Polk will find that this gold-plated dollar remains a solid investment. While the James K. Polk $1 coin is generally well struck, some collectors may find versions with minor errors such as off-center strikes or die cracks. These small imperfections can add significant value to the coin, particularly for advanced collectors who specialize in error coins. The appeal of error coins lies in their rarity and the unique nature of their imperfections, which set them apart from the typical coin in circulation. The coin's collector interest is driven not only by Polk's historical significance, but also by the increasing trend of collecting gold-plated coins. Gold has always been a symbol of wealth and prestige, and as a result, gold-plated coins appeal to collectors who are drawn to both the material and the historical narrative behind these pieces. Whether you are a novice collector or an experienced numismatist, the James K. Polk gold-plated $1 coin is an excellent addition to any collection. Its rich history, elegant design, and potential for appreciation in value make it a top-tier choice for anyone interested in U.S. presidential coins. Next up, James Monroe, the fifth President of the United States, served from 1817 to 1825. Monroe's presidency is often remembered for the Monroe Doctrine, a key foreign policy that warned European powers against further colonization in the Western Hemisphere. This doctrine was a defining moment in U.S. foreign relations and marked Monroe's legacy as a protector of the Americas. Monroe's presidency also coincided with the period known as the Era of Good Feelings, a time of national unity following the War of 1812. Born on April 28, 1758, Monroe was a founding father of the United States, having served in a number of key roles before his presidency, including as governor of Virginia, U.S. Senator, and ambassador to France and Britain. His time in office was largely peaceful, but it was also marked by significant challenges, including the question of slavery in new territories and tensions between the U.S. and European powers. Monroe is also known for his efforts to expand the U.S. through territorial acquisitions, including the purchase of Florida from Spain. Monroe's impact on both U.S. politics and foreign policy is still felt today, and his name remains synonymous with an era of growth and expansion for the nation. The James Monroe gold-plated $1 coin captures the essence of Monroe's presidency through its design. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find a portrait of James Monroe, based on historical images of him from his presidency. The sharp lines and facial features represent the seriousness with which Monroe approached his leadership, and his formal attire is indicative of the political climate of his era. Monroe's face is surrounded by inscriptions that read, James Monroe, and 5th President of the United States with his presidential years, 1817 to 1825, included as well. The reverse side typically displays a symbolic design, possibly featuring the U.S. Capitol or an emblem from Monroe's presidency. Like the Polk coin, the Monroe coin is gold-plated, giving it a gleaming, prestigious appearance. The gold-plated finish on these coins not only gives them a bright and shiny look, but also helps preserve the coin's details. Over time, however, some coins like this one may suffer from wear and a change in color, especially if they are not stored properly. As with the James K. Polk coin, the James Monroe $1 coin was produced in limited quantities for collectors, rather than for general circulation. The exact mintage figures can vary depending on the year and the specific set in which the coin was released. However, given that these coins were part of a special series honoring U.S. presidents, their mintage numbers are generally quite low. The low mintage of these coins has contributed to their growing rarity and increased value on the collector market. Gold-plated coins like these are especially prized because of their connection to U.S. presidential history and the perceived value of gold as a material. In today's auction market, the James Monroe gold-plated $1 coin in color-changed, rusty condition can still fetch a noteworthy price, typically in the range of $59,000. While this may seem like a lower price compared to coins in pristine condition, the coin's historical importance and its unique color-changing characteristics make it appealing to collectors who appreciate coins with distinct features. Coins with altered or weathered appearances, like those showing rust or discoloration, can still hold value because of their rarity and the interest collectors have in finding unique specimens. The color change could be due to oxidation or other factors, which adds to the story behind the coin and its authenticity. Some of the James Monroe gold-plated coins may feature small errors or imperfections in the plating or minting process. These errors, such as misprints or flawed strikes, can significantly increase the value of a coin, as collectors often seek out rare and unique pieces. For advanced collectors, error coins are especially enticing because they represent a departure from the standard, perfect coins that are typically released by the mint. Collectors are also drawn to the James Monroe gold-plated $1 coin because it represents an important part of American history. The Monroe Doctrine and Monroe's role in shaping early American foreign policy make this coin an attractive piece for anyone interested in presidential history. Next up, the 1918 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1-cent coin holds a special place in U.S. numismatics, not only for its connection to President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most revered figures in American history, but also due to the historical period during which it was minted. The 1918 coin was minted during World War I, a time when the U.S. was deeply involved in the global conflict, which had significant economic implications. This was a period when coins like the Lincoln cent were essential for everyday transactions, even as inflation and changing prices affected the market. The 1918 Lincoln wheat cent was part of the larger coinage program initiated by President Theodore Roosevelt in the early 1900s, which aimed to improve the aesthetic quality of American coinage. The wheat cent, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, replaced the Indian head cent. The obverse, featuring Lincoln's profile, was designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse design, with 2 stalks of wheat, was also by Brenner and became one of the most iconic and enduring designs in U.S. numismatics. The 1918 date on the coin is historically significant because it marks a period of transition. The country was embroiled in a major global conflict, and the coin's design, which continued to depict Lincoln on the obverse, was in line with public reverence for the president during his tenure. The 1918 Lincoln wheat cent is a highly recognizable coin for its clear and clean design, even in its fine condition. On the obverse, we find the profile of President Abraham Lincoln facing right, a portrait that remains unchanged through the entirety of the wheat cent series. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, was notable for the realism of Lincoln's likeness compared to other coins of the time. This was the first coin to feature a portrait of a U.S. president, which was a significant departure from earlier designs. The reverse side features 2 ears of wheat, which symbolizes the nation's agriculture. The inscription United States of America arches above the wheat, with the denomination 1 cent below. The coin's simplicity and symbolism of American heritage make it one of the most beloved and recognized coins in U.S. history. The 1918 Lincoln wheat cent was produced in considerable numbers, but that does not necessarily translate to its availability or low value. The total mintage for the year was 309,165,000 coins, which was relatively high compared to other years in the series. Despite this large mintage, the coin is still considered valuable today, particularly when it's in better condition. Coins from the 1910s, like the 1918 wheat cent, are highly sought after by collectors because they represent a period of significant change in the U.S. economic and cultural landscape. The high mintage, however, means that most 1918 cents are not as rare as some of their counterparts from the 1930s or 1940s. But in fine condition, where the coin retains much of its design elements and clarity, it becomes more appealing to collectors, especially those looking to complete their wheat cent collections. In today's auction market, a 1918 Lincoln wheat cent in fine condition can fetch anywhere from $29,000 depending on factors like demand, the individual coin's condition, and the bidding environment. Some auctions have seen these coins go for higher amounts, particularly when certified by well-known grading services like the Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, which provide assurance of authenticity and quality. Rare variations, including coins with distinctive minting errors, can increase the value significantly. However, a coin in fine condition, which is slightly worn but still holds a lot of its detail, tends to sit in the lower end of this price range. The 1918 Lincoln wheat cent is mostly sought after in terms of its pristine original design. However, some collectors focus on finding key errors from the period, such as die cracks, double dies, or off-center strikes, which can significantly increase the coin's value. For example, a doubled die error on the 1918 cent could result in a substantial price increase, with auction prices rising into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity of the error. Another factor that affects the coin's value is its provenance. Coins that have a history of being part of notable collections or significant auctions can see their value rise due to their historical interest. Many collectors are drawn to the 1918 Lincoln cent because it represents an era that changed the U.S. in profound ways. Collectors also appreciate the 1918 cent for its place in the series. As part of the Lincoln wheat cent series, the 1918 coin is a continuation of one of the most beloved coin designs in U.S. history, and it is often sought after by those who are piecing together a complete collection of wheat cents. Next up, John Quincy Adams, the sixth President of the United States, was a man of incredible intellect and influence. Born into a political family, Adams was the son of John Adams, the second President of the United States. Throughout his life, he played a crucial role in shaping American foreign policy and was involved in pivotal diplomatic negotiations, most notably the negotiations that led to the Treaty of Ghent, which ended the War of 1812. As president, John Quincy Adams was known for his advocacy of infrastructure projects, including roads, canals, and a national university. His presidency, however, was marked by significant political division, and he failed to gain widespread support during his single term in office. Despite this, his post-presidential career was remarkable, with Adams serving as a congressman for many years after leaving the White House. He is often regarded as one of the greatest U.S. statesmen, and his intellectual contributions continue to be highly respected in American history. The John Quincy Adams $1 coin was issued as part of a broader series that honored past U.S. presidents, and it helps to preserve the memory of his pivotal role in American history. While his presidency was not as dramatic as some others, his legacy lives on through his many achievements, which have earned him a special place in the hearts of history, enthusiasts, and coin collectors alike. The design of the John Quincy Adams gold-plated $1 coin is straightforward yet elegant, showcasing the artistry and craftsmanship associated with U.S. commemorative coins. On the obverse, the portrait of President Adams is displayed in profile. The coin captures his strong facial features, including his prominent cheekbones, piercing eyes, and distinctive hairstyle. Above the portrait is the inscription John Quincy Adams, and below the portrait are the dates of his presidency, 1825 to 1829. On the reverse of the coin, there's a depiction of a majestic eagle, which is perched and clutching an olive branch and arrows, as is customary in U.S. coinage. Surrounding the eagle are the words United States of America and $1, with the olive branch symbolizing peace and the arrows representing the nation's readiness to defend itself if necessary. Like the James Garfield coin, this one is also gold-plated, which imparts a brilliant and rich golden hue to the piece, making it an attractive addition to any collection. Its luster and finish are part of the reasons it remains so popular among collectors, especially those looking for high-quality commemorative coins. The John Quincy Adams gold-plated $1 coin has a relatively low mintage compared to regular circulating coins, and this limited availability makes it highly desirable in the numismatic market. These coins were struck in small quantities, meaning that collectors need to act quickly if they want to secure one for their collection. In terms of market value, the John Quincy Adams coin, in good condition, is typically valued between $93,000 at auction. The exact value depends on various factors, including the coin's condition, the demand in the market, and any additional historical context or provenance associated with the specific coin. Given that this coin is part of a limited-run series, it is also often traded as part of a larger presidential coin collection. Coins from these sets may fetch higher prices when sold together, as they provide a comprehensive snapshot of U.S. presidential history. As is often the case with commemorative coins, collectors are particularly interested in any potential errors that may arise during the minting process. For the John Quincy Adams gold-plated $1 coin, errors such as off-center strikes, misprints, or uneven plating can significantly increase the value of the coin. If you're fortunate enough to find one of these coins with an error, it may be worth far more than the typical price range. Collector interest in the John Quincy Adams coin is strong, especially among those who specialize in U.S. presidential memorabilia or gold-plated coins. Given Adams's place in history and the limited number of these coins in circulation, they are likely to continue appreciating in value. Next up, the 1941 Lincoln Wheat. 1 cent is another example of a coin from a significant period in U.S. history. The early 1940s were a transformative time for America, as the country was preparing to enter World War II. This era saw many changes in the U.S. economy, as wartime production and rationing began to take shape. The coin itself is part of the series that had become a staple in everyday transactions, with its familiar design continuing to symbolize the strength and perseverance of the United States. During the early 1940s, coins were in high circulation as the country dealt with the impacts of the war. However, due to wartime shortages, some coin production was slowed down, and the quality of the coins began to decline in some cases. In this way, the 1941 wheat cent, despite having a relatively high mintage, is often valued more highly than its counterparts from the late 1940s because of the combination of historical significance, design, and overall condition. The 1941 Lincoln wheat cent is similar in design to the 1918 coin. The obverse features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a powerful symbol of leadership and unity for the United States, while the reverse design displays the wheat stalks. The simplicity of the design is what has made this coin endure over decades. Despite being produced in large quantities, the 1941 coin's design carries historical importance. The obverse portrait of Lincoln is one of the most widely circulated and recognized depictions of a U.S. president. As time has passed, the 1941 Lincoln wheat cent has become a beloved piece of U.S. numismatic history, often sought after by collectors who value its classic design and its connection to the wartime years. The mintage for the 1941 Lincoln wheat cent was a staggering 887,120,000 coins, which means that most 1941 cents are relatively easy to find in circulated condition. However, just because a coin was minted in large numbers doesn't mean it isn't valuable. It's still one of the most widely collected coins due to its role in American history. Many collectors target high-grade specimens, and despite the large mintage, some well-preserved examples of the 1941 coin are rarer than one might expect. Coins that are uncirculated or in very fine condition often command higher prices. These coins are treasured not only for their condition but also for their representation of a time when the United States was preparing for one of the most defining conflicts in its history. In today's market, a 1941 Lincoln wheat cent in circulated condition typically has a value between $15,000 depending on the condition. It's common for collectors to find these coins at relatively low prices in auction settings, especially if they're not in great condition. However, coins with higher grades and certified authenticity can bring in much more. For example, a coin graded as MS 65 or higher can fetch several $1,000s at auction, and coins with desirable errors can see prices soar even further. Just like other coins from the series, the 1941 Lincoln wheat cent is not immune to minting errors, which can add significant value. Double die errors, die cracks, and off-center strikes are among the most sought-after issues. The presence of any of these errors on a 1941 coin can cause the value to increase dramatically, with certain variations fetching several $100s or more. Collectors who specialize in mint errors and varieties often pay close attention to the 1941 coin because of its historical context and the possibility of finding valuable mistakes. The scarcity of error coins from this period also contributes to their desirability. For many collectors, the 1941 wheat cent represents both a chance to own a piece of American history and an opportunity to add a rare find to their collection. Have you ever found a valuable wheat 1 penny in your collection? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy collecting.